What's happening, guys? Back at you with another video. So in this video, with the release of Jurassic World Dominion recently, decided I wanted to try something a little bit new. So actually been seeing this idea going around. Other people have been doing it, and it seemed kind of interesting to try out. So I wanted to try it out for at least a new release for a movie. And since Jurassic World Dominion just came out, might as well do it for the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films. So this is going to be a video that's going to be ranking the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies, yes, but also it's going to be a sort of tier list that as it's called. So basically, there's separate tiers. There's a top tier and there's bottom tiers, and individual tiers in between. Basically, what I'm gonna do is put each Jurassic Park and Jurassic World film on one of those tiers, from the top tier to the worst tier, and the individual tiers in between. So each movie will go on a specific tier, and towards the end, I will actually give my ranking from worst to best on the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to name off the tiers. So starting at the top with the top tier is going to be Welcome to Jurassic Greatness. So that's the top tier. Next tier is going to be Spare No Expense is the next tier. The third tier is going to be Watchable. Next tier is What a Big Pile of Shit, as y'all see. And the last tier is going to be Keep It Extinct. So as y'all kind of realize and kind of notice that it's actually the tiers are actually related to Jurassic Park specifically. So I actually do plan to do more tier list videos in the future, and try to give references to the actual movies itself. So these tiers are actually based on references in the movies. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and start from the bottom with Jurassic World Dominion. So the tier that I'm going to put this one on is going to be the watchable tier. Now, there was a lot of things that I was underwhelmed with and didn't like about this movie. The story was not really tight knit or anything like that. When it didn't really come until like maybe the third act, when I was like kind of like getting into it a little bit more, and the interaction between like the Golden Trio returning and with the new Jurassic World characters, the interaction between them during the third act was honestly better. So really the third act was just really the best and better part of the film. But like before that, had a couple, things that I didn't really like too much about it. So that is why it goes on the watchable tier for me. Now, moving on, we go to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So this one is also going to be on the watchable tier. And this is one of those films that was kind of controversial and very divisive on people. A lot of people didn't like it, and there were some people that did like it. For the most part, I did like it and I did enjoy it. There's just a couple of things here and there about it overall that I didn't really like too much. And then we also too, we didn't get the big bad dinosaur until like later part in the film, the Indoraptor. So it really didn't make a big appearance or anything like that, or a big impact for the overall film. I would say the beginning part though, kind of the first act of the film where they're trying to save the dinosaurs and all that stuff off the island, was kind of the better part of the movie. But after that, it just did have a really compelling villain, and just started fumbling a little bit after that. So that's why it goes on a watchable tier for me. All right, moving on to the first Jurassic World movies, Jurassic World 2015. That is going to be on the tier of Spared No Expense. Now, this one was really, in my opinion, one of those films that actually kind of came close to returning to the form of the original Jurassic Park film, with the wonder of the dinosaurs and kind of hitting that nostalgia factor also. And I really enjoyed it. I gotta say, it's probably my favorite out of all three Jurassic World movies, and that's why I put it on the tier of Spared No Expense. All right, moving on to Jurassic Park 3. If I had to give my least favorite out of every Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movie, Jurassic Park 3 might be my least favorite out of the bunch. So for that reason, it's going to be on a watchable tier. Some things here and there I didn't really like about the movie. I did like the inclusion of the Spinosaurus being the big bad dinosaur in this movie. I thought that was a great addition, and kind of like great escape from like having the T-Rex as the big bad, kind of in the first two movies. So it's kind of like a fresh take on having a new dinosaur come in and, being the big bad dinosaur. And I really like the Spinosaurus as the big bad dinosaur in there. So honestly, a great inclusion. But some other things here and there that I didn't really like too much about the film and overall just how it was and all that. So that's why I put it on the watchable tier. Moving on to the next one is going to be Jurassic Park The Lost World. It's a sequel to Jurassic Park. The sequel had a big task of following up Jurassic Park, and that definitely was not an easy task. For me, this is going to go on the watchable tier. I really enjoyed it overall for a movie and all that stuff. The story wasn't too bad and all that. Just it didn't really hit that point to the original Jurassic Park and kind of fell short a little bit as far as hitting those notes and creating the same effect as the original Jurassic Park. So that is why I put it on the watchable tier for now. Now, moving on to the original Jurassic Park, as y'all probably know, this one is going to go top tier. Welcome to Jurassic Greatness. This is the movie that set the bar, that continues to be still the greatest movie for dinosaurs in Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, and still is talked about to this day as being one of the best and one of the greatest. It set the standard for all the movies after it to come, and it still has not been topped. So, and just bring the wonder of dinosaurs and all that stuff to the from that movie and all that. So that is why it goes on the top tier of Welcome to Jurassic Greatness. All right, now that I got the tier list out of the way, tell me if y'all like that idea in the comments below, and I will definitely try to rank some other movie franchises and film series and all that on the tier list like this. But let's go ahead and get onto the actual ranking itself. So this is going to be from worst to best for Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies. So starting in at the bottom, y'all can maybe already guess. I gave a hint to this one. This is going to, at the bottom for me personally, in my opinion, is going to be Jurassic Park 3. Like I said, this one is probably my least favorite and of all the movies, and it's not really a bad movie. It was just, for me personally, it was my least favorite just for things that happened in the movie and the way that it was played out and all that stuff. I did like the Spinosaurus, like I said before, but just some things about the movie I didn't really like too much, and it's not really one that I go back to a whole lot and try to rewatch and all that. So it's at the bottom of the list for me. Next up, moving on top of the list, moving up to the next one on the list. For me personally, this is going to be, now this was definitely a tough decision. This was definitely a close call for me, but I might have to go Jurassic World Dominion. Just slightly on this one. This was definitely compared to the next one on the list. I went back and forth both on both of those movies. I went back and forth a lot, and I decided to go ahead and just put Jurassic World Dominion next up on the list. Like I said, the first two acts, I didn't like it too much. It wasn't bad or anything, but it wasn't really great either or anything like that. I definitely really wanted to be more overwhelmed with stuff and more wowed and all that. I really didn't start liking it until like the third act really of the movie, and just considering that it's the last movie, supposedly the last Jurassic Park movie we're going to get in the franchise, I just wanted to be left wowed, left overwhelmed by the end of this, and honestly, sadly, I wasn't. And I just want them to put that factor on it to where, wow, that was so epic. That was such an awesome ending, such an awesome movie to the franchise and stuff like that. I'm going to miss this so much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm definitely going to miss the Jurassic Park movies and Jurassic World movies if they do actually decide not to do anymore. But I think somehow they're going to bring it back. And if they don't, somehow, um, it was a great run. I really did enjoy all the movies for the most part in some way or another, and but just wish I just wanted more from this movie. I just wanted a little bit more from this movie. Just wanted to hit that wow factor for me, but it didn't by the time the movie credits rolled. So sadly, it's going to be on this spot on the list. Next up, like I said, it was definitely a back and forth between those two movies on which one was going to make it into the next spot. But going on to the next movie on the list is going to be Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Like I said, this movie had a great opening act and great first act, really, when they're trying to save the dinosaurs off the island and all that moral compass kind of stuff on whether they should keep them alive or not. But towards the end and the second half, like I said, didn't have a compelling villain. Barely got the Indoraptor in the last 30 minutes, maybe. I don't know, somewhere around there. Didn't really have a big effect, too much of a big effect overall on the movie, and just things like that is why I put it on this spot on the list. Next up, moving on, is going to be Jurassic Park: The Lost World. It's a sequel to Jurassic Park. Like I was saying, it had a big task of living up to the hype and the things that was set by the original Jurassic Park film. Unfortunately, it didn't hit everything, but still, nonetheless, it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a great movie, but still was a great fun movie to watch and a great adventure in my opinion. I still enjoy it. I still like it. Still watch it occasionally, because I do like the movie and all that. But like I said, had the heavy task of living up to the original Jurassic Park movie, which it couldn't be able to do. Next up on the list is going to be Jurassic World. This one is my favorite out of the three Jurassic World movies. And like I said, in my opinion, I think it's the one that comes close to form comes closest to the form of hitting those things on the original Jurassic Park. It didn't hit everything. It didn't do it as well, but as far as like I said, in my opinion, I think it's the one that comes the closest to hitting those factors from the original Jurassic Park film. The sense of wonder of the dinosaurs, having a big old bad dinosaur throughout the film that really was made an impact throughout the film. Hitting that nostalgia factor also too after Jurassic Park movies were gone for a while. So everything, all those things, all those factors in there is why I put it on this spot on the list. And of course, coming to the top movie on the list is going to be the original Jurassic Park movie. Like I said, this movie set the standard for dinosaur movies and set the standard for all other Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies to come after it. Unfortunately, none of them have been able to hit that same effect. And like I said, they're not really bad movies. It's just that this one was such a great one that set the bar, set the standard, and it was hard to follow up with the other movies behind it. So, of course, this one is going to be on the top of the list for me. All right, so let me know down in the comments below if you like this idea of me doing a tier list kind of thing, and also to a ranking video. I'm thinking of doing other movie franchises, other movie series, where I could do a tier list and a ranking in the same video. I think that's kind of a cool idea. I've been seeing other people kind of doing it too. I just wanted to give it a shot and see how it goes. But let me know down in the comments below if you like this kind of form of doing it, and I'll be sure to try it in the future again if y'all do like it. But let me know also too in the comments below, what is your ranking, or if you want to make your own tier list on the movies, definitely let me know. I would like to hear our thoughts on it. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope y'all all enjoyed it. Remember, if you want to be a part of Team Legendary, all you got to do is subscribe and turn notifications on so you know when I post another video. Hope you all have an awesome day. And remember, be legendary.